So getting ready for the fire skills class this morning. Got the fat wood we're going to be using, fire roll, cotton balls, and the ferro rods, strike anywhere, or stormproof matches, battery and steel wool, flint steel, a couple different tinder sources, Bowdrill, Handdrill. Talk about carrying embers as well, because especially if you're doing it primitive, you do not want to have to do it again at your next camp. Should be good times, guys. So this one might be a new one for you guys. Potassium permanganate and something with glycerin. I'm going to use brake fluid. It's not quite as chaotic of an explosion as something like antifreeze, but it's pretty cool. You can add this to your water, make it lightly pink, let it sit for 2 hours and make it potable. You can add more to it and make it slightly red, and make it an antiseptic. You can also add more to it, more of the potassium permanganate to your water, and make it dark purple and make it antifungal. You can see that takes a lot longer than the antifreeze, but gives you a good flame for a couple, enough to get some smalls on or something. Definitely get a bird's nest lit up. So just another piece of multifunctional kit. This is what it would look like off the landscape, and you just take this part off, and this one feels like it's a little rough, but let's see. Like this part right here feels like it might get it done. Yeah, so if you pass that around, you can kind of feel how it's fibrous, and this is kind of an example of what the way we process it out.
So you would normally on this part of the bow drill, you would normally use the softwood
for this,
or hardwood.
So
Probably hard, so it doesn't drill through, right?
So I've actually had success with both. The yucca stock that I showed about carrying the ember with, that's actually very soft, but I've had decent success with it. If I were to do this on a wide piece, what I'd do is I'd set my spindle to the edge, and right where the edge of my spindle is, that's where I'd make my little. So what I'm gonna do here is, and you do want these things to remain flat. So there's what's called the floating hand technique, and I'm just gonna grossly demonstrate it. So you see how my hands are at a V? I'm gonna go down like this, and then I'm gonna switch my hands, and then I'm gonna go down like that and switch back and forth. And what that allows me to do is now I can sit at this one spot, right? If I go like this, see what happens with my hands? They want to go down, right? So you don't get as much downward pressure with the floating hand technique, but it's a great way to warm up the set. So that's the way I generally will approach whether I'm making the hole or whether I'm going for an ember. I'll start with the Handdrill or the floating hand technique for a little bit, warm up the set, and then I'm gonna go more traditional and go down the drill until I start getting a decent amount of smoke. And I'm trying to basically make these two pieces of wood together. So the one other thing I like to do is I like to put I always clean these off before I start. And I like to, as opposed to making it completely, round like a pencil, I like to kind of leave little facets on it. And I don't know how much that makes a difference, but I feel like it creates more of a drilling effect because it's got those edges that are hitting. So I'm just going to try to make these things first.
Already. Check that out. Wow.
Okay, now I'm just going to let it sit for a second, let it burn. Now I'm burnt in. Now I'm mated.
Then
right?
you're gonna cut the notch.
Now I got to do the notch. I could definitely save that dust, but I'm not going to worry about it. The notch that you make in this is the same kind of notch you do with the Bowdrill, in that you do what's basically an eighth of the pie. So if you were to take that circle that I just made and cut out an eighth of it like you were cutting a piece of pie out, that's what I'm looking for. You want to just pass that around real quick. You'll notice that I didn't go to the center of the hole. That's intentional. If you go to the center of the hole, then you'll end up drilling like a real sharp little hole, divot right in the center of it, and you'll start getting bound up a lot.
Are we trying to catch the wood at the bottom on fire?
We're trying to create an ember.
Trying to catch the dust on an ember.
But then what do we do? How do we make a fire?
Well, you gotta have your pile of kindling.
I'll show you.
Oh, I see. Got it.
Wow,
Okay.
I can't believe that. Look at that. Look how fast it's getting up.
Supposed to do that, but
I love the smell.
Tom Hanks should come over here.
He's coming.
I'm impressed, man.
I saw him with his basketball. I mean, soccer. Volleyball?
Never saw that one. You haven't seen it live.
Woo!
Look at that. There's
So
the
it probably
ember.
didn't work for Tom Hanks because
There's the
Okay.
ember.
it was too wet on that island.
So
It'd be working.
you can literally.
Okay.
Still going. Still going.
Yeah, oh, yeah,
Make
was
it happen.
red. Or did that.
All right, I'll see if I can get this to go.
Oh yeah, it's already doing it.
I want to see some fire.
Wait, does it burn your hand?
No.
Not yet. It's a lot of insulation.
He's older. He's
Okay,
got
I'm
tough hide.
give it oxygen.
Thick skin.
Yeah.
Just gonna give it oxygen, right? Some people really like this technique. I tend to like it if I like this one. The ember was pretty low already, so covering it like this and giving it oxygen is allowing the ember to grow inside of there. I can feel it. You can see it
The
smoking.
smoke's coming up. Yeah.
Yeah.
Pick it up.
Should start burning
Yeah,
now.
it's about the first.
To burn your hand.
Thanks, Jeremy.
That is so.
Woo!